Hello friends, welcome to the video tutorial of ASP.NET MVC file, and in this video we are going to study bundling and minification. So let us see what is it. So basically bundling and minification techniques were introduced in MVC to improve your request load time. Okay, so whatever request we made to the server, generally to improve that load time, minification and bundling techniques are introduced. Now what bundling does actually? It actually allows us to load the bunch of static files from the server into one HTTP request. Now what can be this static file? So this static file can be your CSS file, can be your JavaScript file. Okay, basically what happens, for every file there is one request made to the server. And what bundling does? Bundling actually loads the bunch of static files and it will be again into one HTTP request. Okay. Now let us see what minification does. Actually minification technique optimizes script or your CSS file size by removing unnecessary white spaces and comments and shortening the variable names to one character. Okay, so basically it minimizes your file. Okay, and basically the bundling and minification impacts on the loading of the page. It loads the page faster by minimizing the size of the file and number of requests. Let me show you when you request for a particular action method. Okay, how many requests are made to the server. So let us see this. So here I open my n-tier architecture solution that we created while studying the repository design pattern. And as you can see here, this is our create view. Okay, and this create view requires these two files, validate.min.js and validate.unobtrusive.min.js. Okay, and even in our layout file also we included the bootstrap CSS, then site CSS, as well as here the bootstrap.min.js is also referred, and main jQuery file is also referenced. Okay, to check how many requests are made to the server, here I am going to use Internet Explorer. So I actually run this program. Okay, so let us switch to Internet Explorer, and this is our create view. Okay, now to observe the request, what we have to do, just right click over here and say inspect element. Okay, and now there is one tab for network, just click over there. Okay, now just make sure that your cache memory is clear. Okay, means whatever there is in your cache, it is clear. In browser cache you have to clear it. So for that what you will do, just go to settings, and here just click on this option. So I want to clear the browsing history, even I want to clear my cache data and file. So let us say clear. Okay, done. So let us make a request to the server and just observe here. So this is a request to the create action method, then this is a request for our jQuery file, then this is request for jQuery.validate.min.js, then bootstrap.min.js. okay, then request for site.css, then bootstrap.min.css. okay, so these requests are made to the server, and all these requests for the individual files are considered as a separate request. So look at here, there are 15 requests, 107.89 KB data transfer, and it takes 101.17 milliseconds. Okay, so definitely it took much larger time. Basically what bundling does, it renders all the bunch of a JavaScript file in a one request, or all the bunch of a CSS file in single request. So let us see how to do it. Now to do bundling and minification, MVC5 includes following bundle classes. Okay, and it is in System.web.Optimization namespace. So first bundle class is ScriptBundle, which is responsible for JavaScript minification of single or multiple script files, whereas StyleBundle is responsible for CSS minification of single or multiple style sheet files. So based on this word you can remember style is for CSS whereas script is for JS file. Now for this, first of all you have to install this package, that is Microsoft.ASP.NET.Web.Optimization. Okay, and then after you have to add the bundleconfig.cs file in your app start folder. Okay, means basically you have to create a bundleconfig.cs file and all your bundling code will appear in this bundleconfig.cs file, where you have to create one register bundle method. So this is going to be a static method, and finally we are going to call this method from a global.asx file. Okay, so basically the register bundle method is used to create, register and configure the bundle. Now as I told you, once you register all the bundle, what you have to do? We have to give call to our register bundle method from our global.asx file and from application_start event. Okay, so let us see how to create a bundle in MVC. So for creating a bundle, first thing you have to do is to create an instance of your ScriptBundle and StyleBundle class. Okay, and while creating an instance you have to use its constructor, and to that constructor you have to pass the name of bundle. Now this name is actually a virtual path that start with a tilde sign, tilde and slash sign. Actually you can give any virtual path, but it is recommended to give a path that will be easy to identify as a bundle. Okay, and then after you have to use include method to add one or more JS and CSS file into a bundle with a relative path after the root path using tilde sign. Okay, then finally you have to add this bundle in bundle collection, and finally you have to set this bundle table.enable optimization property to true to enable bundling and minification in debug mode. Remember this part, note this part, in debug mode. Generally whenever we are developing our application, it is in debug mode, and suppose in debug mode you want to test bundling and minification. In that case you will set this property to true, otherwise it is not required. And if you do not set it to true, by default it is false. But in debug mode we cannot test whether bundling is performed or not. Okay, basically it is not performed whenever you are running your application in a debug mode. Okay, now while including your JS file or CSS file, you can use wildcard character. So star wildcard character or asterisk wildcard character is used to combine the files that are in the same directory and have same prefix or suffix with its name. Means suppose you want to include all the JavaScript file in script folder, so what you will say, star.js. Okay, and if they follow some specific suffix and prefix, in that case also you can use star character or asterisk character. Similarly, you can use this version wildcard to pick up a version based on the available version of a script file. So in that case, suppose, just have a look here, there are multiple versions. Assume that there are multiple versions of the jQuery file. So in that case you can specify version wildcard. Okay, now once you created the bundle, you created a script bundle, you created a style bundle, what is the final step? You should reference it in a view. Okay, basically where we add a reference of our CSS and JavaScript file, we add a reference of it in a view. Okay, similarly once bundles are created, it should be referenced in your view, and that is done using render method. So suppose you want to render a style bundle, you will use styles.render method, and to that you have to specify your bundle name, and similarly for rendering the script bundle you will use scripts.render method. Okay, and for that you have to add this namespace in your view also. Okay, so suppose instead of adding it in again and again, what you can do, you can add it in the web.config file in views folder. Mark this. Okay, this web.config file is not root level file, it is present in your views folder. So there you can add this namespace. Okay, now Let us see one more interesting thing about the bundling and minification. So as I told you, we can use wild characters to include the all the script file or CSS file. Okay, so whenever we say *.js, so what happened? All the JavaScript file in that particular folder get included in our bundle. But whenever we use particular file, JS file, the sequence or the order of that JS file is very important. Means assume that suppose I want to use unobtrusive validation. So what sequence I need? First of all, there should be a jQuery reference file, then validate.js file, and then after unobtrusive.validate.js file. Okay, so basically what this bundling does, by default the bundling order is in alphabetical order for a names with a wildcards. However, it also orders based on what it thinks your dependency tree is, and jQuery script seems to be get slotted to the top. So intelligently it also orders our script sequence. Okay, now let us see this part practically. Now here I am using the same application that we created for the implementation of repository design pattern, that is n-tier architecture, and in our MVC application, which is our web app solution, web app project, there we are going to add the package for web optimization. The first step is to install the package for web optimization. So go to tools menu, say NuGet package manager, and then package manager console. So just if you are using multiple project in your solution, so be careful to choose your project type. So as I said, I want to install it in my MVC application, which is web app. So let us say install dash package space Microsoft.ASP.NET.Web.Optimization. Okay, and hit the enter key. So this will include, or this will add this particular package in your application. Now the next step is to create bundle config file, and it will appear in your app start folder. So basically app start folder contains those files which are required to be called on application start event. So you can add it anywhere, but for the convention purpose we are adding it here. So let me add one file, class file. So let us call it as bundle config. Again, name can be anything because we are creating this file. Okay, now what will I do? I'll just remove this part. Let it be in web app namespace only. Now let us add the namespace, that is System.web.Optimization. Okay, now here you have to create a register bundle method. So public static void, let us call it as register bundles. Again, name can be anything, and to this method you have to pass the bundle collection. So let us call it as bundle. Okay, so we created this method. Let us create an instance of StyleBundle class. So StyleBundle, say my CSS bundle. Okay, and then here I'll say new StyleBundle. So here you have to specify the virtual path. So // contain. As I told you, it will start with a tilde and slash. Then here I am going to specify the same path, that is content folder path, and then here you have to specify the name of your bundle. So it is my CSS. It can be any name. Now what is the next step? The next step is to include the required CSS file in your bundle. So you will say my CSS bundle dot include, and to this include method, as you can see here, it is param array. of what? Of string. Okay, so you have to specify this virtual path of this. Okay, and since it is param array, you can pass any number of string. Okay, so let us say slash tilde content slash bootstrap st dot css, and second one is tilde slash content slash site dot css. Basically I'm not going to add the minified file, because as I told you, what bundling and minification does, or what this style bundle and script bundle does, it minifies your file also. If they are not minified, then it minifies it also. So let us add the plain or non-minified file. So we're done with this part. Now what is the next step? Let us create a script bundle. So as I told you, you can use wild character also. So my CSS bundle include, then here you can say tilde slash content slash star dot css. So this is also valid. Okay, but actually what happened here, there are two references for bootstrap. One is bootstrap and one is minified. So better way to specify all the required files. Create a script for script bundle. So let me open that script folder first. See, look at here. So script bundle, say my JS bundle. Let us instantiate it and specify the virtual path. So tilde slash, it should be in a double quote, tilde slash scripts slash my script. Okay, so which are the required file for us? First one is jquery file, that is jquery-1.10.2. so let us include it. So my JS bundle dot include, so tilde slash scripts slash jquery dash 1.10.2 dash JS. Okay, similarly I'll add other files also. Now as you can see here, I included the required JS file in sequence. First of all, I added the jQuery file, then bootstrap.min.js, then validate.js, and then unobtrusive.js. Now what is the last step? You have to add this created bundle in this bundle collection. So what collection we have? We have bundle collection itself. So let us say bundle.Add, say my CSS bundle, and then bundle.Add my JS bundle. Okay, now again we are going to run this application in a debug mode. So we have to set this property, optimization property, to true. So for that, what you have to say, bundle table dot enable optimizations is equal to true. I'll show you one more way to make it enable, but currently we will focus on this method. Okay, so what this enable optimization property does, when it's set to true, it will perform the bundling and minification in debug mode also, because now we are in a development stage, right? Now next step is to render these bundles in your view. So we actually referenced all our file in the layout view. So let us switch there. And as I told you here, we have to include the namespace in view also. So what you will say, @ System.web.Optimization. Okay, System.web.Optimization. Okay, currently it is not appearing there, but no problem. Sometimes it will do not take a effect. So what will I do? I'll just close this view and again open it. Still it is giving a problem. Okay, let it be. When we execute this application, that error will disappear. Basically, you can see here in the reference part that System.web.Optimization namespace is already added. Okay, so don't worry about it. Now look at here. Basically, these two CSS files we are actually bundle it. Okay, so let us comment this part and let us refer it through bundling. So to render a bundle here in your view, what you have to say? So say styles. So initially you may not get a IntelliSense here, but don't worry, start typing. Sorry. So styles dot render, and then here you have to specify the virtual path that we created in our bundle config file. So what is it? It is contain/mycss. Okay, that's it. And similarly we have to add the bundle of our JS file also. So let us comment this part. Okay, now here I'll say @scripts.render, and again you have to specify the path here. So let us copy that part. So what is the name? Script/myscript. Okay, now since we created a section there in our view, so let me remove it. Okay, because now what happened, all the validate file and all the files are going to be appear there, so it is not necessary to include it here, otherwise it will generate an error. Okay, now what is the next step? Next step is a testing. Let us check whether how it get rendered and whether it rendered in two requests or not. So again we are going to use Internet Explorer for this. So let us execute it. So what I'm going to do here, I'll just copy this URL and I'll open it in another tab so we can cross check the time as well as the request. So it will be open in this in this tab. So let us open it here. So actually our CSS and JS do not get applied. So what is the problem? Actually we forgot to call our method, register bundle method, in our application start event. Okay, so let us do it. So here you have to give call to our bundle config dot register bundle method. Okay, and then after you have to pass the bundle table. Okay, so as you can see here we have to include this namespace. So let me include it. So using System.web.Optimization, and then bundle table dot bundles. Okay, now let us execute it again and we'll check it in a Internet Explorer. So before making any request, what will I do? I'll just clear the cache. So it will not load from cache, it will directly load from the server. Okay, now it get cleared. So let us make a request. Okay, still it is taking time. Let us make one more request. Let me clear it and let us call it once again. Okay, now look at here. So there is my script, then my CSS, my script, only two requests are met. Okay, and Again, there are totally 11 requests. If you compare it with this is our old output. The 26, I think some requests are old requests, but I think there are 13 to 15 requests. Okay, but here there are only 11 requests and only 3.59 KB data is transferred. Okay, now let us check page source. So here I say view page source. Okay, now here what we have to do, just click on this particular part. So what will I do? I'll show you this part in Firefox. Okay, now you got how many requests get sent, and we can easily track it here, but whether my file get minified or not, we can check that part in Firefox. So let us say view page source. So let us click over here. Look at here, this is your CSS file. So everything get reduced, unnecessary spaces, etc. all are removed from it. Okay, so this file, basically we added non-minified file, then also it minified. Okay, similarly we will check for the JavaScript file also. This part. Okay, look at here, each and every JavaScript file, I think we added 3 to 4 JavaScript files, all get minified. Okay, now let us see how to control the bundling and minification. The one way is already told to you, that you can enable or disable bundling and minification by setting bundle table enable optimization option to true or false. So by default it is false. When it is true, what it does, it perform the minification and bundling in debug mode also. Or another way is that it's in your web.config file and in your system.web tag, you can set debug option to true. So if it is true, means you are in debugging mode, so bundling and minification is disabled, and if it is false, then bundling and minification is what? Enabled. So let us try this practically. Now what will I do here? Initially now it is true, so it is performing the bundling and minification. So what will I do? I'll just comment this part. So again my application is in debug mode, as you can see here. Okay, so let us execute our application and let us check this. Okay, now let us check page source. Now look at here, all the files get rendered separately, and even your files are not minified. Okay, there are blank spaces, new line, etc, etc. Similarly, you can check your JavaScript files also. Look at here, jQuery file, validate file, unobtrusive.js file, bootstrap.min.js file, all get referenced separately. Basically, what code we wrote in our layout view? See, we use these methods only, that is styles.render, whereas here we use scripts.render. Then also it do not render the bundles. It includes or it referenced all the files separately. So in this way, you can control the minification and bundling by setting this option. Okay, and otherwise in web.config file you can set debug mode to false. Okay, definitely while deployment we set the debug mode false. Okay, and at that time bundling and minification will take a effect. So let us see this part also practically. So let me close this, let me stop this. So as you can see here, there is already system.web tag, and even there is compilation tag also, and here it is set to true. So what will I do? I'll set it to false, because when it is true, bundling and minification do not take effect. Now I'll set it to false. Now let us execute it. Now here it will ask you, the page cannot be run in a debug mode because debugging is not enabled in web.config file, whether you want to modify it or whether you want to run it without debugging. So please select the next option. Otherwise, if you select the first option, again it will run in the debug mode. So say OK. Okay, let me specify the request area / create. Now your page get loaded, right? So let us check page source. Look at here. Now since we set debug part to false, okay, debug value to false, your request will be minified, as well as all the CSS and your JS file will be requested in one request. No individual request is made for each and every file. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this video. So whenever you are going to deploy your application, definitely this is the last step. Okay, and please follow it to improve the performance of your application. Thank you.